My name is Johannes Amo Aye, founder of Minagie Energy. So Minagie Energy is a fully owned Ghanaian climate tech company with a primary aim of generating wind power using our flagship product, the low altitude maglev axial hybrid wind turbine. For two reasons. The first is quite funny, but the primary two reasons are unstable electrical supply. That was during the doomsday era, and also high fuel prices. So for the doomsday era, one thing that I didn't like at all was us waiting for the lights to come back on. And especially when the lights come back on and you hear people shouting, "Yay, I saw lights, no." I didn't like that where someone is controlling our joy, basically, as a result of electrical power going on and off. And also because of the high fuel prices. Right now it's totally unbearable, and is one of the reasons why Minagie Energy exists. First of all, the low altitude maglev axial hybrid wind turbine is a one-of-a-kind turbine, being that it combines two turbines, which is the horizontal axis wind turbine, which is more like a standing fan. The way the standing fan rotates, that's a horizontal axis. And then the vertical axis wind turbine, which rotates like a top, like when you spin a top and it just spins like that, like a whirlwind. Yeah. Now, our turbine combines these two and produces twice as much power as compared to a conventional wind turbine. Now, what makes this wind turbine special? First is the material selection. The materials, I'm a materials engineer, and it took a lot of time to actually research and understand what is needed here in Ghana, what will be sustainable in Ghana. And one of the products that we came up with is a composite material, the fiberglass reinforced plastics. The whole wind turbine, 95% of the body, and 95% of the body is going to be made up of FRPs. So the first is material selection. The second is altitude restrictions and geographical locations. What I'm talking about is, for those who are not so technical, is that before a wind turbine is installed anywhere, you will realize that they take anemometer readings in terms of whether the area has the wind speeds that can generate, or the minimum amount of speed that can spin the rotor blades of the wind turbine. Our product does not need that at all. We do not need all of those months and years of anemometer readings. Wherever it is onshore, we'll be able to install and generate the power we want. Another unique selling point about our product is it is noise-free, and also it protects wildlife. What do I mean? When we talk about wind turbines, of course, we think about them being so high. Of course, they might interfere with the flight path of birds. And when birds are caught up in the rotor blades of these turbines, it causes fatalities or causes injuries. Now, our wind turbine has no exposed rotor blades based on the design. So that's another. Another unique selling point about our product, based on the design, it comes in 7 mods. So basically, it is easier to produce and easier to install. So it comes in 7 mods that are prepared in the factory, and then we just install it on site. That makes it very easy for installation. And when it comes to production, as I mentioned earlier, the material selection, 95% of the turbine, from the rotor blade systems to the acceleration engine, the body itself is made up of fiberglass reinforced plastics. And as a result of that, the fabrication is easier. We can also use 3D printing to print the parts. So that's a turnaround time. It helps us with production of parts that are supposed to be replaced. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we produce twice as much power as compared to a conventional wind turbine. In Ghana, the main thing is startup capital. So a business like ours, which is a renewable energy company, it's capital intensive. It requires a huge amount of money to start the business. This is not about we are importing solar panels and we are selling them. This is more of we are manufacturing wind turbines specific to this location, specific to Africa. And that is what requires us to, it has come up with a lot of research. We have to do a lot of lobbying. We have to do so many things just to get it started. But the main thing is the finances, to get investors who are ready to invest in a business. So for a business that is that capital intensive, it requires you to go to local and foreign venture capitalists, super angels, angel investors, to just get the funding you need for that. You can either join an accelerator program of sorts, which we are already a part of. We are already in one accelerator program already. Yes, so in Ghana, you need the support, foreign and local. For us, we've received quite some support from Microsoft. We received that 2 months ago. It's quite helpful in terms of IT infrastructure for the business. They have really supported us. And we are looking to get more partners and more investors in. So for starting a business in Ghana, the capital is very important. Five to 10 years, Minagie Energy will be the primary EV charging solution for electric mobility in Africa, period. My top role models, the first will be Kevin Ochre. He is the founder and CEO of Springfield Energies. Why? Because his company is the first oil mining company. They were given the West Cape 3 Points Block 2, and they've been, the work they've done there, it's amazing. And for me, it is more along the lines of, he had the audacity as a Ghanaian to do it. And that inspires me a lot. Another role model of mine will be Daniel Macaulay. That's Magdan Shipping, also a Ghanaian. What I find intriguing about this gentleman is that he dropped out of school. Now, most of the stories that are told about dropouts, like the founder of Facebook and all these other people, they come from very rich backgrounds. But here in Africa, dropping out is common, right? And this guy dropped out and he still came back with an EMBA, started his own business, and right now he's one of the richest men in Ghana. But it's not about the riches, but the resilience, the drive, the zeal to make something that is Ghanaian, that is African, that is prospering. That is what inspires me. The third person will be Vusi Thembekwayo. He is South African. For Vusi, I was more attracted to his person because of the way he speaks, the confidence that he exudes. He will not stand in front of a crowd and you will find him fumbling. He is always prepared. He comes with the goods. He delivers. So that kind of precision with delivery. And he's also a very successful businessman. So that is what inspires me. So these are the three people who are my role models. Yeah. My worst entrepreneurship moment happened, I think, 2 weeks ago. I will say the truth. For me, I was embarrassed, but it's a lesson. It was a lesson, basically. So here's a case where we are starting a renewable energy company. So we are a startup, yes. So we are looking for funding from local and foreign investors. So we are on this AFSIC platform. That's a global database for investors all over the world, giving them the opportunity to invest in African enterprises. So Minagie Energy is on that platform too. So I think 3 weeks ago, 3 investors expressed interest. And one of them, very promising, because I had to go into their business to see what they do and all of that, and it was promising. So last 2 weeks, the CEO sent me a mail saying that we have to get in touch via Zoom and possibly go ahead to meet in person so that we can discuss how the business will go. So we set up a meeting. I even set up the Zoom meeting and all. It was on a Friday. Saturday morning, this man sends me a message. He was like, "Hi, how much funding did you say you needed again?" And I was like, $1.4 million. And the guy was like, "That's all?" And I was like, "Yes." He was like, "No, we thought you would be needing about $25 million to $45 million. And right there and then, he was like, "We cannot do business because at this point, even though we want to invest, your target is so low." And I took it on the chin, and I even asked him that, okay, so can we keep him on our list of potential investors for subsequent fundraising ventures that we'll be having? And he was like, "Yeah, of course, definitely." For me, what was embarrassing about it was that I believe I hadn't done my homework well, because for a business that huge that will want to do business with Minagie, I should have gone ahead to find out the type of projects that they have financed previously. Because even though renewable energy is capital intensive, there are levels to it. And we are just starting up with a product that is revolutionary. The patent for it has been filed, so we are so excited. But we need some particular people, not just everyone. Because this investor that I'm talking about, we need them later on. Because $25 million for a startup, nah, it's not a good fit. So we need to get, so basically you need to get investor niche fits, where you know that this type of investor knows the market that I'm in, the product that we are building. Because renewable energy is not something where you invest in it and then you get your money in 12 months. No, it's more long term. So that is what I learned from that embarrassing moment. Yeah. The first thing, take a break. Learn to take a break. Being an entrepreneur is very tough. It requires you to have a tough skin, because there will be days you wake up and you'll be like, "I won't do it again," right? But you have to keep going. You have to, you have to be self-motivated. You have to know that, okay, this is not just a short-term thing. I'm building something for those that will come after me. So first of all, you have to learn how to take a break, because entrepreneurship can drive you crazy. It can really drive you crazy. If you do not take a break, you will face burnout every day. The second advice I'll give is you should know how to handle rejection. Between January and now, I have sent over 300 emails, sending soft pitches, pitching to investors. Like some of them, you even you will see that the person has read your mail, but there's no response. There are times you go into, so I search for them on LinkedIn, investor platforms, Twitter especially. Most of them are active on Twitter, sending them cold emails, following up consistently. See, there are times you'll be following up and you yourself, you'll be like, am I someone's child? Why is this person doing this to me? But you have to keep going, because as long as you keep going, there's hope for success. So that's important. You knowing how to handle rejection and having a tough skin. The third advice I'll give is hustle has no dress code. The way I'm dressed right now is not how I normally dress when I am working, right? But you represent the business. You have to represent it. So you have to be aware of how you want to be perceived, right? So as long as you rep the business, dress the part. It's as simple as that. Okay, so the fourth advice I will give is go at your plan A as if there's no plan B. Whatever it is you have decided to do, go at it. Even though you might have contingencies, just go at it like you don't have any plan B. It's very, very important. Because when you fail, you will learn how to do it better. Okay? Because it's better to learn from your failures than to go through life not experiencing failure at all. Then there will be no lessons learned. The fifth advice I'll give is if you are starting a business, learn how to bootstrap. Learn how to use your own funding from the very start. Now, take this business, Minagie Energy, for instance. It is capital intensive. It is not a joke. Look at the example I gave about the embarrassing moments, where I'm saying that we need $1.4 million. That is not small funding, right? How am I going to generate that? It's just by the grace of God. So you must start small. You should know how to start small. You should know the investment decisions to make so that you can protect yourself, protect your business. And the last thing that I'll give is if you have a product, know how to protect it. Whether it's intellectual property rights and all. Own the product so that someone will not come and do something similar and get away with it. That's it.